You go to a company's website, you're interested in their product or service, and then you can't even schedule an appointment for at least a couple days out, much less maybe a week out. The problem now is that you go to somebody else's website because you're trying to solve that problem right now. If you can't get a hold of people, that sucks. On today's episode, we're going to talk about why that is causing friction for many sales teams and how you can fix it. You're going to love it. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist Podcast. I'm your host, Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist. And I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode, I got an amazing guest. His name is Aleks Gollu. You can connect with Aleks on LinkedIn. We have his information down below so you can follow him. He's the CEO and founder of 11Sight. And 11Sight does some amazing stuff when it comes towards video and helping BDRs and SDRs at the top of the funnel to be able to capture the attention of interested buyers. He knows a thing or two about doing that, and you're going to hear all about that. If this is your first time watching one of our videos or listening to our podcast, go ahead and hit that little subscribe button for me so we can notify you every time we got something cool dropping. Listen, if you are using LinkedIn as a sales professional, and trying to build pipeline these days, I know the struggle you're facing, and I want you to be able to check out our program we have. You can find out more information. Just go to our website, thesalesevangelist.com, and it's at the top banner. Also, it's in this episode link, but we have a program that helps you to generate at least 3 appointments on LinkedIn weekly without spamming folks. And I'm going to show you all that. You can find more details about it. But right now, let's go listen to Aleks, see what he has to share when it comes towards getting people at the top of the funnel who are interested in your business. Aleks, welcome to the show.
Hi, Donald. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm really excited for this. You're the first interview I'm doing for the new year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. And hopefully we'll also be the first podcast people listen to, but less likely by the time this goes production.
I tell you, man. Well, with that, I bragged about you a little bit there in a teaser. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about what you do?
So at 11Sight, what we do is we bring customer and businesses closer together. The goal is to increase sales and improve customer satisfaction. And we do this on our inbound video call platform that's optimized for the needs of customer engagement. So basically what our customers do is they bring their showroom to the customer's living room or their sales reps to their customers' business offices. So essentially during the pandemic, we all discovered that we can conduct business online with video conferencing meetings, but there are a lot of use cases where video conferencing falls short. So there is a subset of that we are focused on where a customer needs to reach the business with one click now, and the business really wants to engage that customer right away and needs an infrastructure to manage all of that interaction. And that's exactly what we deliver.
Well, this is fantastic. And what we're going to do is put a link to the show notes afterwards. And I would highly recommend you folks, if you're watching, to go ahead and check it out, listen to this episode. They have some pretty cool stuff that they're doing. Aleks, today, and this is why I think it lines up great with your this episode, with the knowledge that you have, is really coming back to this nature of how can we remove friction more, even like thinking about the economy the way it is and the challenges that businesses may face if things continue in a not so exciting way. We're going to find that there are different friction points that can be accelerated in that process. And we need to focus on removing those friction so that deals can close. So I would love to hear from you. What are some of the things that you see that cause friction for sales teams?
I mean, look at it as a customer. You want to buy something, you go somebody's website, maybe you go to G2 Capterra and you find somebody that you want to talk to. And then when you try to reach out to them, one of the few things happens. Either they put an AI chatbot in front of you who is just not ready for prime time. Maybe in 10 years they'll get there, but they're not ready yet, right? Yeah. Or they're going to expect you to fill out a lengthy form and they'll say, we'll get back to you. You are lucky if they get back to you in 5 to 10 days. Or maybe they are a bit more advanced and they can actually say, okay, schedule a meeting next week, we'll have our account executive ready. All of these are points of friction, because
Hmm.
there is no reason today why not to talk to that customer now. I mean, the
Hmm.
funny thing is, in the 80s, you were a salesperson, you were sitting in your office, suit and tie, the phone would ring, and you would pick it up and talk to the prospect.
Yeah.
We need to find our way back to that, especially for high velocity sales. It's a lot more imperative that you do that, because if the prospect is going to make a decision in 30 days or less, if that's your sales cycle, introducing the friction not only delays things, but it actually costs you the deal, because
Hmm.
either the prospect is going to go to your competitor, or they may actually even choose not to buy at all. To give you an
Yeah.
example, a year ago we wanted to have a payroll company doing our payroll as opposed to us. We reached out to three. One of them got back to us fast enough for us to implement that. The other two,
What do you say fast enough? What was that time frame?
they got back to us the next day, right? I would have
Okay.
preferred instantly, but at least they got back to us the next day. The other two, by the time they got back to us, it was too late. We had a handshake with this company. But had even, and the company was TriNet, had TriNet not gotten back to us, we would just not have implemented anything at all and continued as is. So nobody
Hmm.
would have gotten our business.
So the
So
status quo. The status quo would have won on that situation.
exactly. So in
Yeah.
all of these use cases, it behooves the company to just talk to the customer on the customer's terms. We do have a customer who has, in fact, done an A B testing workable. What they have done
Hmm.
is they have given their prospect the option of scheduling a meeting or have an instant video call. Over 60% prefer the instant video call, and they actually turn out to be the better customers. Because the
What?
reality, go ahead.
I was going to say, why do you feel that that's the case?
I mean, so that is the industry statistics that we have with our customers, is that a lot of people want to talk now. The reason is
Yeah.
things have changed. Anything and everything you want to know about a product are actually available on the company's website. They are available on G2 and Capterra. They are available in LinkedIn, YouTube, and all sorts of blog posts. So as buyers today, we do our homework, we learn whatever is possible to learn. We create a short list. Yet we do want to talk to the business for legitimacy and trust and to clarify a few requirements. That's when we reach out to them and say, okay, now I'm ready to talk to the business. That's a highly qualified lead. If a
Hmm.
business, if today a prospect is reaching out to you, they are not somebody who is at the beginning of the journey. They are ready to buy. That's why they want to talk to you now, because they have done their homework. Maybe they can give you the credit card at that meeting. Maybe you can have them sign up for a free trial, and then they are going to actually convert next. Maybe there is going to be one other meeting. So some of the capabilities you need in a platform like this, which we have, is when the call comes in, we actually give the SDR, BDR who answers the call a call script and meeting goals. Depending on
Hmm.
the channel the prospect is coming in, and depending on call context, that meeting goal may vary. It could be get them sign up for a free trial, or it's like, hey, this guy's ready to give you the credit card, ask for the sign up, or hey, uh, the conversation may dictate this too, is you need to escalate this to an account executive or a sales engineer because the questions are getting more technical. So our
Hmm.
platform gives the ability to do a warm transfer where all three of you will be actually in the meeting. You can verbally explain so that your prospect sees you heard them to your teammate what it is that needs to be done. But the teammate will see in HubSpot or whatever system you have integrated with the notes you have put in, because they are going to come in and they're going to see what's going on. And then you can move the deal forward. That friction that you are removing from an AI chatbot or scheduling a meeting, which would have taken 5 to 10 days, is now done in that 15 minutes. And if you nail that meeting, you have a customer. or you have somebody which is highly likely to convert in the next meeting. If you schedule a meeting from 5 to 10 days from now, you already lose 30% of your audience, because industry statistics show only 70%, if that, show up to a scheduled meeting.
Wow. This is fascinating. So I want to go back to this notion again of the idea of the friction. When I asked you that question, you laid out like several different ways, several friction point, and I think in my conversations recently with folks that are coming on the show, and also with consumers, one of the things that we have been discussing is just how oftentimes business is skewed in the way of the business best interest and not in the seller's buyer's best interest. And what I mean by that is like, yeah, it is better for you to have an email to schedule an appointment so I can speak with you and you're in control, rather than giving me control where I can speak with you right now and I can get questions answered to that. Two, another thing that you mentioned that I want to go back to is what products is something like this ideal for? Because I'm sure some sellers out there saying, yeah, Donald, but our sales process is like, 18 months or 9 months for a process. Is, where's high volume you mentioned at the beginning, where something maybe 30 days, is it only ideal for that, or can this be worked in a longer sales cycle?
Two pieces of a conversation. So in terms of where this fits best, what is the ideal customer profile for this? If this is a $17 t-shirt, I don't want to talk to the vendor. The vendor doesn't want to talk to me, so it doesn't apply. Average customer value needs to be $1,000 and more. And I did say it needs to be high velocity sales, 30 to 60 days, because on an 18-month sales cycle where there are going to be RFIs and RFPs and multiple video conferences, the impact you can create from that first call will actually diminish. Now, having said that, if there is going to be an RFI and RFP, you want to be the company that actually helps the customer write that RFI, RFP. So even in that case, it does make sense to answer the calls as soon as possible, because you get into a partnership with the customer, you help them write that RFP. Yes, the sales cycle is 9 months, but you get in the door early. The other point you raised is everything is optimized for the needs of the sales teams as opposed to the customer. Reality is it's just comfortable for the sales teams, but it's not necessarily optimized for their needs, because the marketing teams never can generate enough leads. Sales always yell at them, and sales can never get to those leads fast enough. Marketing is always yelling at them. So it is in everybody's interest, based on their mutual problems, to answer those leads instantly. The other thing is, ironically, by delaying that meeting, salespeople generate more work for themselves. Because if I have filled out a form as a customer, and if I have scheduled a meeting from 5 to 10 days from now, I expect that account executive to come to that meeting fully prepared. I almost need a PowerPoint presentation with my company logo on it, where the AE says, hey, I know this is what you guys do. That's a lot of work, and there is only a 70% chance that I'll actually show up to that meeting. You have to prepare for an hour. Whereas if the prospect calls you and you answer extemporaneously, you couldn't possibly know who the customer is and anything about it. You have carte blanche to ask any questions you want. So in that 15-minute conversation, without having to prepare a presentation, because you know your product, you can actually qualify that customer, figure out if they have budget, what time frame they are going to make a decision, what size of account this could be. All of that can be accomplished in that 15 minutes. It's like you get to give an elevator pitch and you get a customer while riding in the elevator.
Can't compete with that.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So, all right. So again, the idea there, I can, one, no matter what size organization, what size deals, it can still have impact, still have benefit for me. And then two, you're reducing friction again, because, and taking work away from the salespeople is not having extra work later on, as you just explained, because this is going to be help them. When it comes to win more deals, do you have any case studies? I know you talked about some of your clients before, but do you have any case studies of how this has helped people win deals?
Yes. So, I mean, Workable knows exactly how many deals we generate for them. And as I said, over 60% preferred instant video call, and those are the better customers. So we do sell both to B2B businesses and B2C. In B2C, we have some 300 dealerships who bring their showroom to your living room. One of our early customers, Fiat, did a case study, and what they have seen is that a video initiated interaction with a customer is 3 times more likely to result in a sale than any other internet lead. Now, this has two
What?
reasons. One is you are talking to the prospect right away, you are not losing them, but the people who are calling you with video, those are the
Hmm.
more qualified leads. Those are not the people at the beginning of their research, they are at the end of their research. They have done their homework, they know which car they want. It's now discussing deal terms or whatever. As I said earlier, legitimacy, trust, and finalizing requirements. And that's what they want to do, is they want to do it now in their living room or in their office without waiting. And as a
Yeah.
business, you just have to actually deliver on that.
So the way this works in like a sales team, you have it's basically an inbound call,
Yes.
but you just have the sales reps situated that they can jump on Zoom or this, the video call right
Yes.
then and there when that call comes in.
Yes. So, I mean,
That's nice.
obviously, you need a lot more capabilities in your platform, because what we have done is we have reduced the digital communication identity of an individual or of a product, location, or a team to a URL. That URL can be embedded anywhere, G2, Capterra, LinkedIn, and so forth. So the customer can access the business on any channel, and the business make itself
What?
accessible on any channel.
See, I was thinking this was just a website,
It's
but
not
that
just
makes sense.
website. That's the key thing, is that that's
Wow.
the other big thing, that the big shift that has taken place is the ground truth about 11 site is not just 11 sites website. You come to LinkedIn, we get more calls almost from LinkedIn, G2, Capterra than our website, because people read about us everywhere. People read about you everywhere. You should give them the ability to get to you from any of those channels. Now, if the platform is doing their homework right, or it's the right platform, which what we do is, you will know where that customer is calling you from, whether they are coming from G2 or Capterra site, from LinkedIn, from a specific Facebook ad you have run, right? As
Yeah.
a salesperson, you could be answering calls on multiple lines.
Hmm.
And depending on the line the call is coming in, you will be given deal intelligence, call context. You will be given a call script. You will be actually told what the meeting goals are. You will see who is calling. Any notes you take will flow into your CRM directly. We do have a tight HubSpot integration where instantly everything flows in. Now, you change the lead status, that can actually kick off a set of workflows. So
Yeah.
in that 15 minutes, you not only actually nailed the meeting, you actually did the necessary paperwork afterwards, because any notes you took is already in HubSpot, so that sales up is no longer yelling at you that, hey, update the CRM, right? It's the CRM is updated for you by the platform. And the platform obviously has the necessary rules to configure who gets to answer which call. Is it round robin? Do we ring everybody all at once? Because that's another thing, is that people just don't like to wait. So
Yeah.
we make sure that, and for example, Fiat, what they do is they use our patented call routing algorithms to take an incoming call and find you the right salesperson at the right dealership that's nearest to you.
So here's the other part with this. Now, obviously, this is only when you're awake. If in the say it's like in the middle of the night, and I have prospects in Europe that are looking at the website or looking at my content on LinkedIn, how does that component work? Would it then just be set up a time for a call, or how does that part
So, I
work
mean,
when somebody's
different
not physically
pieces.
available?
One is, the most basic is, you basically play a video to the customer and say, hey, these are not our
Gotcha.
business hours. Please leave a message. You can leave a message with video if you want, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible at the beginning of our next day. I mean, there also are answering services who, if you are really getting a lot of our calls, then that's where your customers are shopping, right? So it's not just
Yeah.
8 to 5 when people used to walk into your store. Maybe people do their shopping between 9 and midnight. So you should have
Yeah.
people answering calls in those hours. These are either your people, or they could be an outsourced agency who follow the call script and who move the deal forward. I mean, that's actually one of the services that we are providing at 11 Site for our customers, what we call inbounders, is
Yeah.
we can answer that call on behalf of our customers. Because if it's just getting the requirements from the customer and qualification information, we don't need to be the product expert on that first call. And we move things forward and everybody wins. Now, what we find is most of our customers, after like the first month, they start answering those calls themselves because
Yeah.
they know that they are going to be able to sell.
Well, man, this has been absolutely amazing. And I know for time purposes here, we're not going to get a chance to keep going. But I think you at least you got whet our curiosity here, and with the results that you're telling me about, some of these companies are seeing, like, that's remarkable. That's awesome. So we're going to link back into the show notes with this. So if there's one major takeaway you want sales leaders listening to this episode to know when it comes to reducing friction and close more deals, what's that one major piece of insight?
A lead is 10 times more valuable in those first 5 minutes than any time thereafter. And when the phone rings, answer.
I love it. Love it, man. If folks want to get in touch with you, Aleks, and the product and
So
forth, how do they
definitely
go
come
about
to
doing so?
11site.com. And if you actually want to reach me, you will be able to call us directly from our website. And if you tell them, hey, we saw Aleks on Donald's podcast, and I want to talk to Aleks directly, our team will actually transfer the call to me. If you have any questions for me, I'll be happy to do that. You can sign up without giving a credit card. And later on, again, if you are ready to give the credit card and tell us that you have seen us on Don's podcast, we'll give you an extra 10% off.
Love it. Well, folks, take advantage of that offer. I'm going to put that all in the show notes and be able to come back and so you can come back and check it out. But Aleks, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks, Don.
As I mentioned, that was Aleks. If you want to find out more about him and 11 Site, you can find all the information down below in the link. If you want to check it out yourself and go through their process, go to their website, click on that little video link, and you'll see the process and take fold. I like that concept. And the reason why I like that concept is simple. Here, people are like, you and I are busy, and you and I want answers right now. We get impatient. If I have to wait forever, yes, it does cause friction. It may cause a cooling off. But if you can help me up right now, I could talk to someone. I mean, just like the old days, like he said in the episode, like, people would call and pick up a phone and talk to someone. We can still do that right now, and I love that, and I think it's awesome. So check out the tech, check out some of the cool things Aleks doing, and check out our sponsors because they're giving you offers that you could take advantage of right now to help you and your team. Find all the details in the show notes. As always, I want you to thrive and I want you to succeed. I want you to be able to build a stronger pipeline. I want you to be able to convert more of that pipeline. This is why I want you to check out our LinkedIn course because you can see how you can utilize this with LinkedIn. You're going to be generating at least 3 appointments per week after you go through the program. My goal is simple. Again, I want you to thrive. I want you to succeed. Most importantly, I want you to raise your level of thinking, go out and do big things. Thanks so much for watching.